All right, so XDefiant has officially been shut down. Now, this to me is just super sad. For some of you that may not know, I actually started when I had heard about XDefiant. I was like, you know what? I'm going to start a whole new channel dedicated to XDefiant. And one of the reasons I did that was because I was so excited. I pushed back against the idea of a COD killer, right? I just didn't think that was right. I mean, I think it could end up being very good, but I just knew that it should succeed on another way, right? Not being, oh, we're just going to beat COD at its own game. No, no, no. Be your own thing. And so when it officially kind of launched, and it was kind of a like, okay, we're the first time I got to play it, I had a ton of fun with it. I thought there was so much to it. I thought the guns were cool. I liked the class ideas, and it just felt like there was a lot of depth and a lot of stuff to do with it. I was so pumped. I was like, man, this channel, this might actually work out for me, right? So that I'm just putting that out in the beginning of this video to lay out to you exactly how much I was in on this game, right? I just simply put thought that this could certainly be, the next big thing. And it's sad that it appears that it was Ubisoft that let it down. Because I certainly understand that the game wasn't perfect. I certainly understand that there was people that wanted certain things in the game, and you could criticize this and you can criticize that. But the one thing I took away from XDefiant was that the game was just a whole lot of fun. And had Ubisoft said, okay, we may not be seeing everything we want in terms of how much money it's making to this point, but we're going to stick with it and we're going to allow it to kind of really grow into become one of these A+ titles, I still think it would have. And that's kind of the sad part of this whole thing is that it is now being shut down forever, right? We're not going to get a chance to play XDefiant again. And I don't get the reason for that. We're at a time right now in which people are kind of tired with the online multiplayer scene for a lot of these games. People play Call of Duty, but everybody appears to be complaining about it. I always think back to like the Xbox 360 days when, let's just call it what it is. We had Call of Duty 4, Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, you had Gears of War, you had Halo. I mean, you go down the list, Battlefield at its peak, I would say. You had all these great, online options. And now, because of live service, I don't think a lot of people love any of these games that are out there. Like, truly, truly love them. I mean, Marvel Rivals was a welcome online game. I still play Call of Duty. I still like playing Fortnite. It's not that I don't like these games. They just don't have the same feel, that same addictive quality at this point that I used to get when I was playing like some of those games in the 360 era. And XDefiant, I just thought had a chance to, like I said, I think calling it a COD killer is wrong, right? That shouldn't have ever been its goal, and I don't think it was. It should have just tried to be the best version of what it wanted to be. And I think it would have succeeded doing that, but Ubisoft very simply just didn't give it enough. From everything I'm reading, that seems to be it. It kind of came out of nowhere. It feels like one moment we're like, okay, XDefiant, it's got to keep building, it's got to keep building, it's got to keep building, and potentially, it releases a new season and it'll be big, and it kind of had everything pulled out, like the rug pulled out from underneath it. So this is, in my opinion, super sad. I stopped. I basically deleted the channel and stopped actually playing the game once I found out that it was going to be done. Once I found out it was going to be done, I said, what's the point in me playing this? Only for them to shut down the online servers. It just didn't make a whole lot of sense. And I think a lot of people will look back on this game with a big what if. What could this have been if there was backing to it? What could this have been, especially with Ubisoft that has just so many great, IPs that were already in the game and could have been put in the game. There was unlimited things they could have done, and they decided to not do it. And I think that was by far the wrong decision, and it sucks that we cannot actually play XDefiant. So thank you all for watching, and we'll see you next.